What's up and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today I'm going to be talking about a new Shudder exclusive coming to the streaming platform on July 15th, starring horror legends Tobin Bell from the Saw franchise and Lin Shaye from the Insidious films. It's The Call. The Call stars Tobin Bell as a widower who invites a group of kids who taunted his late wife until the day she died over to his house and surprises them with the fact that she included them in her will, and they're all offered $100,000, but they only have one task. They have to go into one of the bedrooms in his home and with his creepy rotary phone, call his late wife beyond the grave. You see, he buried a phone with her in her casket. So, they must call her and last 60 seconds. If they can do that, they win the money. But as you might imagine, there's a catch, and not everything is as easy as it sounds. First of all, big shout out and thanks to Shudder for allowing me to check out this exclusive film a little bit before you air it on your platform. I knew that when I heard that Tobin Bell was going to be in it, or really whenever he's going to be in anything, I knew that I had to see the movie. Specifically because I love him in this genre. Even parts of the movie still reminded me of Saw because he gathers people together and gives them a choice to carry out a specific task or run into a worse fate. The first thing that he kind of does is call this character Christopher, and he's like, "Hello, Christopher." And here I am thinking, I want to play a game, because he kind of does. So I was all in when I heard that he was going to be in this film, and I was blown away when I found out that Lin Shaye was also going to be in the film too. These are two massive horror legends, and basically they're playing a husband and wife here, and it's so perfect. The concept of the film is also absolutely captivating, at least to me, about calling somebody beyond the grave, and what could possibly be the ramifications of doing so. Watching the film, I didn't know what would happen beyond them calling this ghost, and I won't dive too deep into that, but the direction that they take does make sense, at least to a degree, and a lot of the visuals surrounding the things that they experience is pretty good in terms of lighting, set design, and some gore, though some of that gore does look to be a bit wee cheap the more they kind of repeat the same effect, which happens from time to time. My main complaint comes down to the fact that I think that the concept was stronger than the execution. A big reason for that is the casting of the kids. Look, I love Tobin and Lin, and I think they were the best parts of this film, and I wish that they were in it more. But these kids, they were all disposable, nothing characters. The problem that the film faces is that it tries on purpose to avoid their character development so that they can use these things later on as reveals. They all have a story. Yeah, but those stories exist purely for gimmicky purposes, meaning at the end of the day, you do not care about the characters because it never tries that hard to make you care about them before any of the craziness happens. Once the crap hits the proverbial fan, I'm not going to be like, "Oh yeah, tell me more about this jock character." No. At that point, his history becomes a plot point, and everything that they go through when they pick up that phone is kind of repetitious. It doesn't feel like the stakes are being raised with each kid that picks up the phone. It feels like, okay, let's do it again, and we'll do it no differently, just with a different kid. So when the stakes don't consistently get raised, the climax itself at the end of the film felt a little bit anticlimactic. Plus, there's no real falling action from a narrative arc standpoint either. It just kind of ends abruptly. And here's a huge pet peeve. Never once do you see Tobin Bell in the film in the same scene as Lin Shaye, and I don't know why. I feel like I was personally kind of robbed of the potential chemistry together. As for being a horror film, I think fans of the genre may have fun with the movie here and there. I know I did, but I would hardly call it scary. It follows a somewhat typical structure, and because of that, you can kind of tell whenever it tries to throw a jump scare at you. Maybe that's a deal breaker for you, and maybe not, but honestly, if you're a fan of Tobin Bell and or Lin Shaye, then that alone makes this film worth the watch. As is the concept of the film. It's not super strong beyond that, though. Let's go ahead and break down my final score. From a technical, unbiased level, I thought casting Tobin Bell and Lin Shaye in this film made a ton of sense. The concept of calling a person beyond the grave is absolutely captivating. The visuals in terms of lighting, color, and set design were all pretty great, but beyond that, I think there were some easily avoidable issues, especially in crafting characters that you can actually care about with the kids that show up. This unbiased score is 64%. My bias score basically agrees with that because, yeah, I love watching Tobin Bell in anything, and the concept seems unique to a degree, but you can't really avoid nor forgive the main characters in the film, all of which seem to blend in together. This score is 66%. And when we're averaging out the two scores together, we come to the final rating of 65%. 65 out of 100 possible stars, or a C+ letter grade. Guys, have you seen The Call? If not, are you looking forward to watching it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out.
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert. He is the #1 critic that I go to when I need a movie.